Well, okay, good morning and welcome to Unit 2. Cheers. This is a very compressed unit. It's a much harder unit than what we've been doing. There are a lot of new concepts that I'm throwing at you. I'm trying to create a class that's not only fun, which is I think good, but also useful, all right? We live in this internet age, and everything we're doing is always a visual rhetoric. That's why we started out with a PowerPoint. It's very visual. And everything's also an argument. That's what rhetoric means, okay? And by argument, I don't mean a fight between your parents, between you and your significant other. I mean where you're presenting a position and then supporting that position, okay? So that's what we're doing in the entire rest of the class. And by support, I mean having evidence and having examples and illustrations and research and that kind of thing to build an argument, to build a position that really has meaning to it, not just more hot air like most arguments are, okay? Like what you see on TV all the time. So that said, in this unit, it's absolutely critical that you pay attention to the Unit 2 learning materials that I presented to you, that you pay attention to the table of contents. Please look at the overview and the readings. They're very important. There are a lot of discussions this time. The discussions are complex. They introduce you to some new concepts. They introduce you to a military blog. Hello, it's Memorial Day. So congratulations to those of you who have served, who are serving, or who have significant others or family, that kind of thing, in the military. Thank you very much. I'm a veteran too, and I take it all very seriously. So that said, you're going to be doing a discussion about a military blog. They're called Mil blogs. I want you to do a discussion about social networking. Facebook, I love Facebook. You know, I know there's a lot of raps against it, but we use Facebook to interact with our kids who live all over the world, literally, right? Interact with friends that we have all over the world, that kind of thing. I share a lot of photographs on there. I also use it in my J210 Visual Communications class. If you don't like Facebook, just email me and tell me why. You'll be fine, okay? Also, you can put that in the discussions. I present a blog to you. I've just mentioned the military blog, but I present other blogs, and your big task this week is to write a rhetorical analysis about a blog. So if you've never heard of a blog before, you need to start early, start often, okay? There are lectures, a couple of lectures about how to develop well-focused paragraphs. That's absolutely critical. That's in the Roman numeral number 3 folder. I always expect your writing to be good paragraphs, and as I look at your literacy narratives this week, it'll take me to the end of the week to get them all graded. I'll be always looking for well-focused paragraphs, okay? Speaking of which, as you get your papers back, I don't generally send your papers back. I'm not into red marks and that kind of thing. I try to just simply tell you the grading dialog box what you did well and what you still need to work on, okay? In the very rare occasion of serious problems, I do return your paper. So don't expect to have your paper back. If I do return it, I tell you, okay? So click on your grade, in your grade book, click on the grade, follow all the links to make sure you actually find my comments. You'll always get personal comments from me in the dialog boxes there in the grading book, okay? Then I'll add if I've actually attached your paper with more comments. Generally, I'm not attaching your paper with more comments, but sometimes I do. And I often use the rubric. There's a rubric in the grading form. Click on View Rubric if you want to. And if you get anything less than 100, I do use the rubric, all right? So the big issue, though, is item Roman numeral number 4, the Unit 2 writing assignment, which is due June 6th. It's right around the corner. And you're writing what's called a rhetorical analysis. And a rhetorical analysis is much different than what you did in high school. In high school, you kind of tended to do what I call book reports. You just repeated something. And we don't do that in college because I could read the same book or I could read the same article, whatever. You don't repeat things. Instead, you say what they mean. What does this mean? What meaning did you get out of this? So for this particular assignment, I'm asking you to look at a blog, and I give you 100 blogs to choose from, okay? So, you know, if you're into politics, if you're into cars, if you're into sports, whatever, there are tons of neat blogs out there. If you don't know what a blog is, go through all the learning material very carefully in the unit. It's all explained, okay? So you're going to write a rhetorical analysis in which you describe the blog. You know, you kind of tell the reader what it looks like and what the components of the blog are. It's like going to a smorgasbord at a restaurant and say, well, you know, this table has this, and this table has this, and this table has this, and this tastes like this, and this tastes like this, and this tastes like this. You break it down into its component parts, and then you put it all back together again. That's what an analysis is. And it's a useful skill. I think you'll enjoy it, okay? And I present to you many, many examples. So you can't come back to me and say, well, I was confused, I didn't know what you meant, I didn't know what you wanted. That's not true. You can't do that because Roman numeral number 4A2, excuse me, Roman numeral number 4A3 is my example. The professor wrote for you what he expects, okay? And then I give you a bunch of student examples that got 100s, okay? Then too, it's kind of fun. If you want to, you can do some screen captures of your blog. You can insert them into the document, all right? And then you can talk about them. The screen capture does not count for page length, but your discussion of the screen capture does count for page length. And then I can always tell if you're using the screen capture just to bulk out the paper. I can tell, okay? Generally, screen capture doesn't need to be more than about 1/3 of the page wide, all right? That's just a good rule of thumb. Then underneath the screen capture, you have to directly say what it is, you know, like figure 1 dash, this is what this is. Kind of do that in italics. Then under that, just talk about it. Don't use the screen capture irrelevantly, okay? Use it as part of the flow of the paper. And this is what a visual rhetoric is. You're creating your own visual rhetoric. I mean, think about it. Everything we're doing is visual. Look, right here, Blackboard, okay? Right now you're looking at me, okay? Yuck, all right? Early in the morning. Okay, so make sure you look at my example. Make sure you look at the student examples. I give you a rubric. Item 4B, Roman numeral 4B, is the actual rubric for the assignment that tells you exactly what I'm expecting. It even tells you how to do it. Always look at rubrics. They're teaching tools, okay? And then there is a Unit 2 quiz that's due on June 6th. You need to take that, okay? I'm looking at my notes here. I think I covered everything I want to cover. I don't like to let these go too long. The bottom line here is I'm getting you to critical think about what you see and read in today's internet age, okay? We're bombarded with information. Much of the information is visual. A lot of the information is text. I'm getting you to analyze it, getting you to think about it. That's called critical thinking, where you go beyond just the surface appearances and say, hey, what does all this mean? What is the message these people are trying to promote on me, and should I accept that message or not? What do I think about that message, okay? And why do I think that way, okay? It's the why is always more important. From now on out in your career, it's the why is more important than the what. So if you have questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Watch for your return paper. I'll let you know. It's a complex unit. You need to get started early. You need to get started often. And I'm expecting some really interesting blog analysis from you by Tuesday, okay? Sorry the class is so compressed. I'm not comfortable with it myself, but that's, you know, powers that be did that. So, hey, get to work. Get a hold of me if you need me.